Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Woodmere Estate Revival. This evening I'm down at the house trying to get the last of the living room floor out. As I mentioned in yesterday's episode, the contractor was going to come in today and shore up the ceiling in the living room office area, which is actually the floor structure for the master bedroom suite above. And so thankfully they were able to come in and do that today. And they brought in some 4x6 beams, and they brought in some support columns, and we're able to get the beams in place, get the columns in place, and carry the load from the floor joist from the upstairs down to ground in the crawl space. That way we're assured that even if the partition wall is a little bit unstable, that the upstairs structure is not at risk of becoming destabilized or collapsing at worst. So I was glad to have those guys in today. Really appreciate their help. It's tough work hoisting those beams up on your back, up a extension ladder, getting them in place, and getting the columns in place, trying to get everything anchored in. So really appreciate those guys coming out today and knocking that out. Let me show you where we're starting this evening, give you a better idea of what all we get accomplished here tonight. So right here behind me there was you can see some of the support columns, and they use these screw jack columns, which are great for working at varying distances. This one is supported here on this block foundation from the old fireplace, and then they've got another one over here further on, actually goes down and clear down into the crawl space. And then on the other side here they've got two more supporting in the other end of the post or the beam there. And so those guys were able to get those hoisted in place. They're not quite done. They got to come back tomorrow and put another post in and just kind of support everything and get it anchored in place. That way everything is protected. Let's take a stroll over to the formal living room and give you an idea of what we're dealing with there this evening. If you'll remember from from 2 episodes ago, we were tackling the floor here in the living room, and we found a nice creak under the floor. No joke, there was a drain box in the crawl space, and there's actually water draining from the crawl space into the drain box. There's a plastic pipe that comes from who knows where, I think over around the kitchen, and that may have been hooked up to a sump pump at some point, and they were pumping water from one end of the house into this drain box. I don't know, it's all still a mystery at this point. As we get the rest of this floor out, I think we'll begin to understand a little bit more about what's been going on in this house. But let me show you what everything looks like here. So here's the remnants of the floor joists that I pulled out the other night. These 3 that are cut off were so rotten over towards the office that as I pulled the sheeting off, they just fell apart. So I just came over here and came out about a foot, cut them off with a circular saw. The 3, actually 4, because one's a double over there. Those joists are actually, they're wet, but they're actually solid enough that they're still providing some support. So I left those in place. There's a couple of stubbies over there next to the fireplace. So we'll leave those in place for now, and then you can see the other ends of the joists again. They were rotted off, and so I cut them to keep from, pulling them completely out of the plate or the band joist on the far end. So this is the floor that we have left to tackle this evening, and you can see it's severely sagged out here in the middle. There's all kinds of furniture and a lot of weight sitting on that, and so it just settled down over time and eventually snapped those floor joists. So I'll be taking my circular saw with the demolition blade and cutting, about 18-inch swaths across this flooring. Then I can take a hammer and a pry bar, pop the flooring loose, and then go ahead and cut the floor joist loose. It's about 40 degrees in here tonight, so you can see your breath. The temperature's dropping. I got the torpedo heater running here. Thanks to my brother Chad for loaning that to me. That's been a lifesaver this winter because it gets really stinking cold in here. But at any rate, we're going to get some work done tonight. When I say we, it's just me. Unfortunately, Amber has been sick, and our kids are fighting something. So it's just going to be Chris down here tonight. Speaking to myself in third person, that's not a good sign. So stick around, and let's see what I can get accomplished tonight.
Whew, man, that is nasty work. It's coming up pretty good. I'm able to get most of the floorboards off before the floor joist collapses. But man, it's dirty, nasty work. Time to haul some stuff out to the dumpster. And
All right, here we go. Looks like about 3 more passes, and I'll have all the floorboards up in the living room. It took about 4 trips to the dumpster to get the last 2 passes out there, so it's pretty tedious work, and a lot of carrying, a lot of hauling, but I'm bound and determined to get this done tonight, so I'm going to power through. Here we go.
yeah, I just hit something on that last board there and killed my demolition blade. So I'm gonna have to switch blades. I don't have another demo blade. Hopefully the general construction blade I have will get me through the rest of the evening. I'll have to pick up a couple more demo blades at the box store tomorrow. That's quite a pile of debris. That's going to be fun hauling that out to the dumpster. Well, I said I was going to finish tonight. Oh gosh. So nasty. Well, so there you have it, folks. The floor in the living room is gone. Now it's in a huge pile. At least part of it is by the front door. So before I go home for the night, I got to get all that stuff out to the dumpster and try to clean this place up a little bit. Probably ought to nail a board across that door. Keep some person unfamiliar with the job site from just walking in here and falling in the pit. But here's what we're left with. You can see how rotten these floor joists were. I mean, they're just in really bad shape. So they got wet from the top down and wet from the bottom up, and they just rotted. So, you know, the sheeting rotted and the floor joists rotted. So, I mean, it's a serious mess. But the good news is it can all be repaired. So we're going to have to get in here, support the partition walls, and go ahead and remove all the rotted stuff and frame up with fresh wood. And above all, we got to get this crawl space dried out because it's disgusting. It can't stay like this. I want this thing powder dry, dehumidified, air conditioned. I mean, I'm not going to put up with a damp crawl space. Not going to do it. So we're going to tackle that issue head on, get that fixed before we repair any of these floors. So thanks for tuning in for another episode of Woodmere State Revival. I've got another probably 45 minutes worth of cleanup left here, getting all that stuff out to the dumpster, and then I am headed home for the night. Put my feet up for a little bit and get up and go to work tomorrow. That's how this project rolls, though. I mean, nights and weekends down here pounding it out and trying to get this work done. So it'll all be worth it in the end. That's what I keep telling myself. When I'm doing laps in the pool and sipping a drink by the poolside, I'm going to look back at all these videos and say it was worth it. If I survive. Thanks again for tuning in. Please hit that subscription button. Tell your friends and family about our channel. And we appreciate you guys following this project. See you soon.